I now give the floor to His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Asim Al Thani, Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the State of Qatar.
In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, may the peace, blessings, and mercy of God be upon you. Mr. President, allow me to congratulate you on assuming the presidency of the Council this month. We thank you for quickly responding to our request to convene this meeting. We especially like to thank Algeria, Pakistan, Somalia, the UK, and France that asked for holding this meeting on our behalf. We also thank Ms. Rosemary DiCarlo, Undersecretary General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, for her briefing. We thank the Council members for adopting the press release today. We appreciate your solidarity with Qatar that we heard in your statements after the unjust Israeli attack on Doha that the press statement has condemned. The attack occurred on the soil of a main mediator. The statement stressed the commitment to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Qatar in line with the principles of the United Nations. We address the Security Council today in light of a dangerous escalation which constitutes a threat to international peace and security and regional peace and security. This is why it is at the core of the mandate of the Security Council as per the Charter. The Israeli attack, an unjust attack, at 3:45 on Tuesday, the 9th of September 2025, targeted a residential area allocated by the state to the negotiating teams. This is part of our ongoing negotiation efforts. These residencies house the negotiating team of Hamas and their families. The residential areas are known to all those who are engaged in negotiations, even diplomats and journalists that have held meetings with the negotiating team knows where these residencies are. We take measures to verify what happened, and it turns out that the casualties included Arif Bado, Saad Mohammed Adosi, who was 22 years old. He was martyred on duty. A number of civilians were also injured, and members of internal security forces working in the compound, they're receiving now medical treatment. We are trying to identify the identity of those affected. It was a residential area, and the attacks terrorized those who lived there. This area houses schools and houses different diplomatic residencies. The attack is a violation of the sovereignty of a state member of the United Nations. This attack is far away of the civilized behavior by states that believe in peace. Qatar is making tireless efforts to save lives, and this attack puts the international community before a test. Israel, led by extremists, bloodthirsty extremists, have gone beyond any borders, any limitations when it comes to behavior, not only among states, but among individuals. We're unable to predict what Israel can do. How can we host Israeli representatives when they have commit this attack? Have you heard of any state that is attacking a mediator this way? A state that is attacking negotiating teams that are hosted by Qatar, and then the Prime Minister is using shameful justifications and is trying to justify this attack that is condemned by the whole world. The Prime Minister should have recall the model of Taliban. They had a political bureau in Doha, and we had a negotiation channel or a communication channel, and this channel led to reaching an agreement on Afghanistan that led to the end of the war after decades. The US have never targeted the negotiators over these years. On the contrary, the world has seen the success of these efforts in cooperation with the United States under the leadership of Donald Trump to end the longest war in the history of the United States in 2020. This is the approach we pursue. This is the approach that the Prime Minister of Israel is trying to distort. These continued violations of international law, this behavior that undermine all values, prove only one thing, that the current leaders of Israel are arrogant. And they believe that they enjoy impunity. In addition to the genocide in Gaza and the unprecedented humanitarian disaster in the Strip, and the international community has not acted yet, here we are. We can see that Israel is undermining the stability of the region impetuously. Israel is trying to rearrange the region by force. It is using fundamentalist ideas. That is the basis of Israel's behaviors. Israel leaders are declaring that. And they think that only the Israeli population is listening to them, but we're all listening to them. The peoples of the region are not accepting this kind of behavior, are not accepting this narrative. We believe fully in mediation and the peaceful settlement of disputes, and Qatar's role is being appreciated worldwide. Our efforts has proven that our efforts in cooperation with the United States and Egypt has led tangible results. It led to the release of 148 hostages. It has led to providing humanitarian aid to Gaza. It was a glimmer of hope, a rare glimmer of hope in this Gaza. But attacking our territories while we were busy with negotiations has uncovered the intention of Israel. It is trying to undermine any prospects of peace. It is trying to perpetuate the suffering of the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people is subjected to unimaginable suffering. It also shows that extremists that rule Israel today do not care about the hostages. This is not a priority. Otherwise, how would we justify the timing of this attack? Because the negotiations were looking at the latest U.S. proposal. The negotiating team of Hamas have been getting together to discuss the U.S. proposal, and the attack occurred. Mr. President, I stand before you today, and I urge your august council to bear its historic responsibility. Silence before the law of the jungle and targeting a sovereign country this way undermines international efforts, undermines the prospects of any peace process in our region. The continuation of such attacks does not only target Qatar, it is a clear threat to target any country that is working on achieving peace, and that undermines the trust in the United Nations. The state of Qatar stresses, under the leadership of its emir, may God protect him, that we will continue our humanitarian and diplomatic role without any hesitation in order to stop the bloodshed. At the same time, we will not condone any attack on our sovereignty. We will reserve the right to respond through tools guaranteed by international law. We call for peace, not war. Peace is our approach, and we will not be deterred by those who call for war and destruction. Before your Security Council, we present these facts, and we recall that today we're discussing an attack on all diplomatic efforts to reach peaceful solution. The only way to peace goes through negotiations, and it starts with a ceasefire and the release of all detainees and hostages, and ensuring the unconditional entry of humanitarian aid, and lifting the blockade. Allow me, on behalf of all peace-loving peoples around the world, I would like to be optimistic. We cannot succumb to extremists. We have to continue to pursue peace through the two-state solutions, through the establishment of the independent Palestinian state, fully sovereign on Palestinian national soil, according to international resolutions. We need two states, two peoples living side by side in peace. This will only be achieved through the adherence of the principles of international law. I thank you.
I thank His Excellency Sheikh Al Thani for the statement. I now give the floor to the representative of Israel.
Mr. President, on September 9th, Israel carried out a precise and targeted strike in Doha. The strike targeted Hamas leaders who for years have planned and directed attacks against Israel, many times making these directives from the luxury confines in Doha. These terrorists